He is transported to a realm where humanity has been annihilated, and no one remembers him after humans lost a brutal war. Kai Sakura is sent to a parallel universe where humans lost to demons. There he meets a mysterious being, unsure if it's an angel or a demon. To his surprise, this mysterious being asks for his help. In his world, humanity fought an endless war against 4 enemy races, but in this new world, no one knows who he is. Flashback to a few days ago, Kai gets out of his vehicle to survey the crypt for exactly 300 seconds. His companions wait impatiently, because Kai always doesn't cut a single second short. Through his binoculars, he sees one of the conflict pillars caused by demons with immense magical power. Across the trench, angels and elves, considered half-human celestial beings, along with spirits and mythical beasts like dragons, wreak havoc on the battlefields. This widespread conflict, known as the Great War of the 5 Races, involves all these beings. Kai, a soldier of the Urza Federation, is determined to stop this war from starting again. He carefully watches the crypt where the demons were sealed. After 300 seconds of observation, the young soldier returns to the vehicle. Ashran remarks that no demon has escaped the seal in 100 years. Kai emphasizes that their job as the Human Protection Agency is to ensure it stays that way. Ashran points out that there are 4 crypts like this one around the world, and it doesn't help if they are the only ones taking this task seriously. Saki, the woman on the team, tries to calm him by saying everything is peaceful, but he refuses to let his guard down for even a moment. After their journey, they return to Vizel in the Urza Federation. During a training session, Kai and Ashran practices using a mythical beast combat dummy. The system warns him that it's very dangerous to fight such a strong opponent as a low-ranking soldier. Ignoring the warning, Kai attacks the mechanical beast's ankle, but causes no damage. As the dragon is about to swallow him, Saki turns off the robot and stops the training, worried that Kai will end up dead if he continues at this reckless pace. However, Kai believes he needs to push his limits to make the training worthwhile. Because of this and more, Saki thinks that Kai would have gone down in history if he had been born during the Great War of the 5 Races, like the Prophet Sid. Kai feels honored by the compliment but doesn't see himself as worthy of such praise. Despite the legend being highly regarded among humans, Saki cannot believe that a single man defeated 4 heroes. Vanessa, the Dark Empress of the demonic race, Alri, a Lord of Heaven of the Wild God race, Rikankilo, the Spirit Sovereign of the Spirit race, and Ratha, the Fang Emperor of the Phantom Beast race. Kai insists that Sid won the battle because of the shining sword given by the prophetic god Ashes Soraka. However, Saki points out that there are no photos or videos of the human hero, unlike the others, so she remains skeptical about his existence. She then pokes Ashran to wake him up and asks the guys what they want to do to celebrate Jin's promotion. Ashran suggests a bouquet of flowers, but Saki points out that Jin is being transferred to the royal capital of Zack at the age of 17, the youngest ever selected, so a few flowers won't be enough for such an achievement. Speaking of Jin, she sends a message inviting Kai to meet her the next morning at Terminal 9 in front of the cat's statue and asks him to keep it a secret from Saki and Ashran. The 2 friends start teasing him about this secret meeting, so he gets annoyed and says he's going for a run. The next day, Kai meets Jin because she will be transferred next week and doesn't want to miss seeing her friend before then. She thought he was on leave despite his uniform. He explains that he did his morning training and came straight over. She replies that Kai is the only guy who isn't afraid to go shopping with her, and that's what she likes about him. Jin plans to buy a gift for Saki and Ashran before heading to Zack, suspecting that all 3 of them are considering doing the same thing, as this will be their final meeting. Kai thinks she is exaggerating because she will return after 2 years of training in Vizel. However, Jin reminds him that by then, Saki and Ashran will have completed their military service and will return to civilian life. She believes only Kai will remain in Urza until then, and he agrees. Proud of his friend, Kai assures Jin that she will surpass even her father, the head of the Urza headquarters. This has been Jin's dream since childhood and has driven all her pursuits. As they continue their outing, they stop to grab a bite to eat, while Jin thinks about what to get for their friends. After deciding, she thanks Kai for his company. During their conversation, Jin recalls when Kai got lost in the demon crypt at 10 years old during an inspection with his father. When he got home that day, Kai said he saw Sid's sword. He vividly remembers falling into an absolute void surrounded by terrifying creatures until a shining sword illuminated the path and drew the young Kai to it. Despite the trauma, he never shared this story with anyone else, believing no one would believe him. Since that incident, he has felt a personal responsibility to ensure the demons never escape the crypt. Because of this mindset, Jin believes Kai will still be with the Human Protection Agency in 2 years. Jin then asks Kai what he thinks the future holds beyond those 2 years. Before Kai can respond, he witnesses the world around him disintegrating into a static distortion. Amidst this chaos, a system announces that global reincarnation has been activated. Kai is then transported to an alternate reality where the buildings in his city, Vissel, have been obliterated and replaced by a dark, war-torn environment. Above it all, a colossal demon emerges from the ruins and attacks him with magic. Managing to evade death without a moment to contemplate, Kai rushes to his rifle and fires at the demon's new spell with a modified elven bullet, neutralizing the spell and startling his adversary. Enraged, the creature charges at him again, requiring Kai to use his exceptional dodging skills. He overcomes the obstacles and strikes the demon with his bayonet, but its tough skin renders the blade ineffective. Kai then fires at the demon with a modified draconic bullet that mimics the breath of mythical beasts, causing a massive explosion in the target's body. Kai takes pride in executing the moves he trained to defeat a demon. Outraged, another evil entity appears, unable to believe a human had defeated one of its kind. Kai realizes this demon can speak human language remarkably well. The demon comments that the easiest way to control a slave is by communicating in their language, shocking Kai and making him realize he must be considered the scum of this world. The demon senses danger in Kai and prepares a lethal spell until Saki arrives in an Urzujin, throws a flash grenade at the entity and rescues her friend. Kai calls out to Saki, but she doesn't understand how this stranger knows her name. Similarly, when Kai approaches Ashran, he too is puzzled by the boy's familiarity. Without understanding anything, Kai recalls that the three of them were part of the same unit at the Agency for the Protection of Humanity. However, Saki also doesn't recognize this agency because she is a soldier of the Resistance, the rebel human army. Increasingly perplexed, Kai inquires about what happened to this world. The girl explains that there was a prolonged conflict called the Great War of the Five Races and humanity was defeated over 30 years ago. Each city in the world was overrun by the enemy races, and since then, the surviving humans have been hiding as best they can. According to Ashran, the different races are still fighting over conquered lands, and the Euro Federation was taken over by demons, forcing everyone to flee. However, humans created a safe haven underground that remained intact after the war. Kai wonders how humanity lost the battle, and Saki explains that humans were no match for such powerful creatures. Each race had its own hero, unlike humans. Kai asks about the Prophet Sid, but neither soldier knows who that is. Kai claims that the Prophet defeated the other four races, but Ashran doubts this, believing that humans wouldn't be living underground if that was the case. As the three talk, the main troop of the underground city arrives. Some cities still resist, each with a garrison supervised by the main troop. According to Saki and Ashran, the commander of this troop in the resistance, named Jean, is seen as a savior by the people of the Urza Federation. Jean is an empathetic and charismatic leader, well respected by human civilization. Jean asks about the identity of the unknown soldier, and as his comrades explain, Kai is left speechless, realizing that even his closest friend doesn't know who he is. Unable to let it go, the boy shouts Jean's name, recalling that they were shopping just moments earlier. The commander, confused by this story, says he doesn't recognize this soldier, then turns away and heads to a scheduled meeting. Unsatisfied, Kai questions why his friend is pretending to be a man, knowing her dream as a daughter was always to surpass her father's career. Rina, one of the senior subordinates, grabs Kai by the wrist, but Jean asks her to let him go. After the commander leaves, Saki asks Kai what's on his mind, and Ashran offers his room for Kai to rest and collect his thoughts. At Ashran's home, Kai can't stop wondering why all this is happening to him. He reads the documents, but the only missing records are his and Sid's. Kai can't understand how, if Prophet Sid never existed, there are still the four crypts, a seal of four races. The next day, Kai asks his old friends about the crypts, but they know nothing about them. Determined to find answers, Kai borrows a car and promises to return by noon despite Saki's protests. Ashran tosses him the keys and Kai drives to the ruins of Vissel, heading to the crypt he used to monitor. As he approaches the entrance, he finds Prophet Sid's sword and picks it up. A voice from the sword declares that the bearer of this relic is now the code holder. The sword opens a gate, transporting Kai to a mysterious platform. Climbing the stairs, he finds a half-angel, half-demon girl chained up. This wraps up the first episode of Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? Recap. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.